Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
Вы, наверное, местно... Я не буду ждать, пока не закончат.
I'm Reed Thompson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect.
Я не работаю, это просто космос.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
Мне нужно отремонтировать корабль, я ищу регулятор мощности.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Поджариться?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
Почти заброшено.
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there. No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home. Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations. Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town. Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership. That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that. Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith, for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Thompson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented, and may prove useful to you.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
У вас новый напарник. Напарники — это персонажи, которые сопровождают вас во время приключений и всячески помогают. Плюс напарники обеспечивают поддержку в бою Их навыки улучшают ваши навыки, они увеличивают вашу грузоподъемность. С помощью навыка вдохновения можно открывать особые боевые умения напарников. Вы можете узнать больше о своих товарищах в разделе «Напарники». Ок. Другой перед тем, как согласятся помочь. Условия можно узнать в журнале. Ок. У нас первый товарищ. Что это такое? А, вызов лифта, скорее всего. Мгм. Так, ну ок, ладно, пошли. Парвати. Мгм. Хорошо. А, вот команды появились теперь на крестовину. Я еще думал, что крестовина не задействована.
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry.
Возникают
Can
мысли,
we talk?
когда... Ага.
Sorry.
Как в Fallout.
You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just, Mr. Thompson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
Здесь немного такой стиль, как немножко на Walking Dead похож.
To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left. I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk, kept my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident.
Почему он тогда ушел?
Miss McDevitt? Oh, gosh, no. She was a real important person. A flavorist. Made all the food taste decent. She used to work up in the big office with Mr. Thompson. All I know is she left after her son died. It was a real big to-do. I could hear them both yelling clear from my own place. Can't say as I know. I wasn't there. The sound carried, but not the words. If Mr. Thompson ain't of a mind to tell you his own self, you'd best ask Miss McDevitt, if he can get out to her. Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Thompson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is. About if what Mr. Thompson proposes to do is upright. Leaving Miss McDevitt's folk to their fate. Their neighbors. Kin. And maybe he can think of something else to try. Something we ain't. He used to go walking outside town. Maybe he found something that'll help. It's just an idea. That's all. The mission's on the east side of town. You can't miss it. On account of it being the only clean thing. Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
Такс, прокачечка. Ей. Хорошо, качаем взлом, да? Вот так. Мгм. Разговорный навык для боя. Атаковав цель правильного типа, вы автоматически ослабляете ее. Понял. Тетя Клео знает о любом месте веселее вместе. Умение напарника. Вы можете приказать напарникам использовать особые умения против врага, которого указываете целью. Умение напарника 1, умение напарника 2. Ок. Это начинает еще больше интересовать меня. Так, и способности. Блин, я бы вот это бы прокачал. Так. Вы заботитесь, износ оружия брони 25... Давай вот это сразу сделаем. У меня 0. А почему? То есть тут я думал, каждый раз дают. Ок, ладно. Кнопку прыжка во время движения вперед, чтобы сделать скачок. Это очень удобно, когда нужно... О, прикольно. Хэц! Так, где там наш дневник? И вот приходит сила. Поговорить с викарием. Так, раздел напарника. Найдите все, что нужно знать о напарниках. Видны навыки, показатели, эффекты снаряжения. Да я бы на самом деле поставил... Неплохо. Я бы на самом деле поставил бы... по умолчанию я не особо хочу там ковыряться в напарниках. Плазменно. Так, а давай посмотрим, что у меня по энергопушкам. Где это вообще? Дальний бой. Из винтовок и длинноствольного оружия. Тяжелое. Из тяжелого также... Так, непонятно. А энергетическое оружие может быть так сейчас. Уровень 6. Длинноствол. Вот оно, длинноствольное. Дальний бой. Ну, у меня оно вообще не прокачано. Ладно. Так, там что, ботаническая лаборатория, а тут викарий. Нам к викарию. Так, блин. Как отсюда выйти? Что тут лежит? Это... Да, смотри, он подошел как раз тогда, когда я тут все почистил. Ладно. Это что? Терминал? Просто космос. Вы уже пробовали лучше, а теперь попробуйте остальное. Так, записи. Найденные вещи. Одна левая рука отделена по запястному суставу, зафиксированы переломы костей. Ребята, это уже вторая незапланированная ампутация за 2 месяца. Пожалуйста, будьте осторожны рядом с механизмами. Затрата на обслуживание механизмов удерживается из зарплаты. Не густо записи. Так. О. Псевдосидр. Блин. О, тихо. Мистер Мощь. Мак-2 шок, картридж с битами, гранатомет. Офигеть. Состояние 100%. Тяжелое оружие. Офигеть, просто офигеть. Ты посмотри на эту дичь. Так, штурмовая винтовка. Чё тут как-то многовато, блин, сразу накидали. Они тут вообще как-то реагируют на кражу? Или тут можно вообще тырить все подряд? На засове. Loose lips? Да я не терял. Тихо. О. Преступная деятельность, незаконное вторжение, взлом и компьютер, также убийство считается преступной деятельностью и не одобряется обществом. Чтобы заниматься такими вещами без последствий, постарайтесь, чтобы вас не видели. Так меня и не видит никто. Детали для оружия, картридж с битами. Ок. Меня как бы никто и не видел, типа. Ладно, пошли. Ну я не собираюсь тут типа все тырить, я... Не будем брать. Слушай, я отсюда не выхожу, да? Чё-то я подзаблудился малость. Это какой-то... Короче, уходим отсюда. Я думал, это выход. Нифига, это не выход. Так, только ты. Здесь я был. Я еще залазил там по лестницам. Блин, откуда ж я пришел-то, а? А, вот как, смотри. Тут такие двери неприметные. Ладушки. Есть тут какие-нибудь нычки, что-нибудь такое? О, есть. Это хорошо, мне нравятся нычки. Просто жуй. Спасибочка. Буду просто жевать. Викарий. Вот он, Викарий. Пошли к нему. Он за пределами... Ого. А, это церковь. Не, ну тут мы брать ничего не будем, да? Хотя нет, возьмем. Вроде не воровство. Что это за сосуд, не знаю. Вон он сидит, Викарий. Пошли к нему. Здравствуйте.
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar DeSoto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling? This season's tossball predictions? The quickest way out of town? They who are not satisfied with their work are satisfied with nothing. No. How about, work fortifies the spirit. True exhaustion awaits idle hands. Selling? No. It is free for all who seek it. I'm sorry you don't find these tried and true words of wisdom to your liking. Have you? These people need something, anything they can grasp to survive. Delving into the metaphysical minutiae of the grand plan would be nonsense to them, if not worse. My apologies. The townsfolk are having a tough time of it, and it's been difficult for me to enrich their lives. They are good people. It is just difficult to reach them. I've never seen you before, and there's been no paperwork indicating a transfer. Half the time it's wrong, but a new worker without paperwork? Unheard of. Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal. Pretty universal here, except for Miss Holcomb, who for some reason doesn't seem to have much to say to me. Isn't that right?
It's just... there's more to it all than numbers. Sorry.
Oh, nothing could be further from the truth. I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town. No, I am not. Though there is something to your accusation. It is wrong for me to succumb to distress. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here.
But what? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Thompson asked you to do? Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk. They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice? Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold. If it were as easy as a few soothing words in the right ears, I'm sure it would have been done already. Consider it a challenge. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume. One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book. I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption. On the contrary, my position means that I am one of the few legally allowed to possess such items. But do not worry. You'll be safe since you are acting on my behalf. I can assure you, you won't find another willing to risk imprisonment to possess this book, nor anyone willing to pay the price I can offer. Glad we see eye to eye. It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it. Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
Where are we headed? You mean about the mission being too clean? I know, but Vicar says the universe is a machine, that it runs by law. Real machines have gunked up oil, scratches, and worn bits. You can tell they've seen handling, been used by folk. The machine Vicar sees is one ain't never been run. It's not for people to live in. It's something on a museum shelf, under glass. The Vicar's about the only soul in the Vale who spends his time thinking on what is and ain't right. It's just that when he looks at me, I feel I'd disappoint him. Aw, he ain't no threat. Bet I could fix him up smart.
Searching for repair bay. Error. Navigation systems failed. Unable to comply.
I could probably fix that. I mean, if you wanted me to. Yep, I see the problem. His nav mod got dislodged. Must have taken a tumble. Just gotta give it a good push and wait for the click. There we go. Jeremy's good as new. Well, new by Spacer's Choice standards, anyhow. His name's Jeremy, by the way.
Navigation systems operational. Optimal path toward repair bay detected. Initiating self-diagnostics.
On account of I fixed him. And he's Jeremy on account of his helmet. It's like Jeremy, the officer in True Romantic Tales of the Space Guard. Surely. I make a point to watch every Tuesday night. Be more careful out there, Jeremy.
Self-diagnostics initiated. Please do not disturb.
When I was little, we'd get freighters in every Sunday noon. Now they only come but once a month. Yeah, huh?
Bring us honor, soldier. You beat that scout to scrap with its own legs? Pulled its optic cables out its head case? Actually, don't tell me. Rather use my imagination. You're a passing fair soldier, I will confess. But you are one, and the enemy is legion. What you need is an equalizer, a weapon to strike fear in their cold, mechanical hearts. Cantina, lavatory, behind one of the toilets. That's where I've kept it hidden all these years. Sharp, ain't it? The lavatory is the very last place a mechanical has need to enter. On the double, soldier. Don't want the bartender poking around in there with a mop.
Wonder if the plague's ever gonna pass.
Just keep working. Work fortifies the spirit.
If you're falling sick, I don't want you near me.
Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you.
You're not a big drinker, are you?
You read the latest report?
I don't know you. Amelia Kim, Spacer's Choice Beverage Dispenser. I don't know what you're about, but this here's a Spacer's Choice drinking establishment. We're all loyal, hard-working company folk here. Am I that easy to read? Yeah, we've been having some problems lately. Loyalty issues, lines in the sand. I know where folk in Edgewater stand. But you, I don't know you. If you're gonna have a drink, I'd like to ask that you do it within the premises. Can't have you taking drinks over to those deserters. Traitors, the lot of them. Bunch of folks decided they were tired of working and went out into the wilds to fend for their own selves. Town's already struggling to make quotas, even without that band of slackwits abandoning their posts. Bunch of lazy, shiftless rung leeches. Anyway, enough about them. What can I do for you? Go ahead. I don't see how that's any of your business. And there's no need for you to pry either. Ugh, is this the start of a joke? If you want me to laugh at your jokes, it's a 3-drink minimum. Look, I don't know what you're blathering about. If you took a blow to your skull, you really should settle down with some zero-G. Anyhow, whatever happens outside the walls is not my business. Only deserters and marauders wander out there, and I cannot tell you which I revile more. My world is these 4 walls, that door, and a row of mugs that need cleaning. Go ahead. The Hope? No, I've never mixed a drink by that name. I could get you a rum and something if you like. Wait, no, never mind. We're all out of something. You feeling a bit flushed? Look, why don't you go set yourself down in the corner before you get all tangle-footed? Then pretend you're drunk. Sober folk don't talk the way you are. Not unless they're looking for a trip to Tartarus. The Hope's folklore, all right? 60, 70-year-old folklore by now. The board don't approve of spreading seditious rumors and falsehoods. You're inviting trouble talking that way. and I don't want a part of it. Look, either shut your gob or stick a drink in it. We're done talking about this.